All right, guys, welcome to our first post-draft video. Today we're going to be doing pretty much just a preseason prediction video. We're going to go over our rankings for the teams, what awards we think is going to win, and who's going to win the World Series. Luke, you have anything you want to say before we get into it?
Yeah, just kind of like you said, everything is just a preseason prediction. Got a couple categories we want to go to.
All right, so let's start with our 1 through 6, how we think the teams will finish. We're going to go one by one. We're going to start at 6. So for 6th, I have the Western Pacific.
Interesting. For 6, I have the United Outlaws. I just don't know much about the team. I'm sure they're going to be fine.
And number 5, I have the United Outlaws. I think they have some good potential with the Jacks, the 2 pitching there. I'm a little scared about the offense, and if Connor is able to be controlled enough to be an ace in the league.
Yeah, for 5, I got the Pacific. Just worried about the injury with Connor. I know Blake's a pretty good pitcher, but I don't know how the rest of the rotation is going to look for them.
All right, in 4th place, I have your Central Cowboys here. I think this is where it gets a little foggy. Day 1, your pitching is going to be great. It's just if you guys are going to be able to continuously have a great hitting thing. But I think
4th for me, also have the Cowboys. I think really high ceiling, really low floor. But
3rd place, I have the Northern Dove. I think this team does have potential to be either really great, really bad, somewhere in between. We don't really know. I think Tate had a great draft class this year. It's really going to come down to if Tate can figure out how to pitch.
Yeah, 3, it's kind of shaping up similar. I also have the Dove. Really like the draft class. Love the fire that their manager plays with. I think it's going to translate to some wins for them this year.
Number 2, I have my Southern Serpents. I do believe we will finish 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. I don't think we will be number 1. I'm usually more of a playoff team, as we saw last year. But
number 2, I got the Frost, division rival for me. I'm a big fan of the draft class they put together. Big fan of the manager, Evan. Takes everything super serious. So I think they're going to be one of the top teams this year.
Number 1, take it right out of my mouth. I got the Frontier Frost. Evan Rwl put it together an absolute flawless draft class. I love what he did. His dedication behind the scenes. I think the Frost are going to have a huge season, really shock the world and be the best team this year. And for your 1?
Number 1, I think he's just trying to be not biased, but I think the Serpents are probably should be the consensus number 1. I mean, they addressed every possible need.
How about we start? We're going to do the awards now. We're going to start from bottom up. So we're going to start with most dedicated. I have Adam Coco. A little biased, obviously, I took him, but this kid's been texting me before the draft, during the draft, when I got him, everything. He's been just so excited to get ready to play. I'm excited to see how that dedication is going to come out this season.
My most dedicated, I'm going Evan Rwl. He's going to end up being the most dedicated.
All right, now we're going to go to most clutch. For most clutch, I have Gavin Samaniego. If this was an award last year, I think he would have won it. He had maybe 2 or 3 walk-off home runs last year, which is ridiculous. One of the most clutch hitters in the league to prove it again, so I have Gavin there.
Yeah, same for me, actually. I also have Gavin. I know last year I didn't play, but every time I was watching one of the TikToks, it seemed like Gavin was hitting a home run. So most clutch, going to go with Gavin. I think he's got a great chance.
Again, for all these awards, we are not putting ourselves just to make it more spicy. So I didn't put myself and he didn't put himself. So for Gold Glove, I have Blake Kurlander here. I think this is an interesting pick. I think Blake has the baseball tools he has. I think he's going to be playing short when he's not pitching. That's where I have for my Gold Glove.
For my little bias, I got Michael Hawkins in Gold Glove. Anytime he's not going to be pitching, I kind of want to utilize him in the field. Really fast, good hands, good arm strength. I think he's got all the tools.
Here we're going to go to the Nobel Peace Prize Award. Now, this award is just straight up the nicest kid in the league. You never want to talk trash to him. You always be around. I have Alex Coco. That kid lights up a room every time he's around. I think he's just going to be a fun guy to play around. Never toxic, none of that. So that's what I have for my Nobel Peace Prize Award.
Yeah, I also have Alex Coco. I think the biggest thing for me was his interview. He had a chance to talk trash to his brother and was all nice, all class.
All right, now we're going to spice it up a little bit here. We're going to go to Manager of the Year, and this is a very hot take for me. I'm going to take Tate Yannick here. This is a very controversial pick. I think Tate Yannick has drafted a very good draft class. I think he's going to use his rage to other teams to kind of unite his team and build them up through fire.
Kind of seemed like a glazed job, but I'm going to take Evan Rwl here for a Manager of the Year. It's first time managing a team. I think combined with that great draft class, I think he's got a good head on his shoulders.
All right, now we're going to go to Most Improved. For Most Improved, I'm going to go to Luke Van Eyck. We only saw about 2 series of his hitting ability, but he showed some flashes. I think Luke will start getting the hitting tools together and be a pretty solid hitter in this league.
My Most Improved, I'm going Jaden Patel. I just think, there's absolutely no shot the kid could be worse. And actually a pretty solid piece for Tate this year, so I'm going Jaden Patel.
All right, now we're going to get into the great 4 awards that you want to win in this league. We're going to start with Cy Young. For Cy Young, I actually have your teammate Michael Hopkins winning this award. I think not much people have seen him. I've seen him in the backyard. Michael's got great control. I think he could really win this award.
My Cy Young, I'm going Blake Kurlander. Potential advantage, he's pitching in a division with 2 new teams, so I think there could be a lot of adjustment there in the league. So
All right, and Silver Slugger, not a mystery. I think Luke Rotundo, this guy right here, will be one of the best hitters, if not the in the league. This kid continuously rakes me in the backyard. I think it's going to 100% translate to this league, and he's going to be a scary guy you want to see at the plate.
For mine, I got Austin Dubek. I heard he's been heavily overlooked this year, sliding all the way to 5th after being drafted 1st overall last year. I still think the kid is a top 5, if not top 10 player in the league. So
now we're going to go to Rookie of the Year. For Rookie of the Year, I'm going to go no other than Clayton Kershaw. I think this kid is just going to change the atmosphere the Serpents want. And I think he's going to be slugging definitely north of 300 and hopefully like 7 to 8 bombs. That's what we're thinking.
Yeah, for me, unfortunately, I got Clayton Kershaw. I think he's got LeBron-type expectations for this kid. You know, everyone's heard about him. No pressure to Clayton, but he's got a lot to live up to this year.
All right, now the biggest award of all. Everyone works their ass off for this award. We have the MVP. For my MVP, I'm going to Evan Worrell right here. Obviously, the pitching side was there. Evan was a little shaky at the plate, but I think if he just can figure out how to hit very, very well in this league, just somewhat top 10 in the hitting category, he is definitely going to be a contender for this award.
Now, folks, this may seem like a glazed job, but I gotta remind you all what MVP stands for. You can't just be a pitcher. You can't just be a hitter. You gotta be a great hitter. You gotta be a great pitcher. You gotta be a great fielder. And so for that reason, I have Ben Rotundo here as MVP. I think he can literally do everything on the field. I'm gonna have to go with Ben Rotundo for my MVP slot.
All right, and now we are going to do our World Series matchups. So I don't want to be too biased, but I have very high confidence in my team. I have the Southern Serpents beating your Central Cowboys in 3 games. Just a brotherly connection in the finals.
My World Series prediction, I got the Pacific playing the Frost. I have the Frost winning in 2.
Wow.
Super high on the Frost this year. I think Blake takes advantage of a lot of the young hitters in the playoffs. So I think they find themselves in the World Series. I just think the Frost just are going to be able to overpower them.
All right, I like it. And so today, that's our picks, everything. Let us some feedback. This is your co-host. We're signing off. Thank you guys for tuning in. Yellow.